welcome to our channel. Our friends, subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon for the latest update. Today we're gonna start with the class that is based on understanding the human being aspiration to human aspiration and its fulfillment. This has been the class is your 11th, and as you know that we had done your 10th classes in the last classes session, and that's what we have to discuss. Where we have discussed about unit 1, unit 2, unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, unit 4, and as well as unit 5 in detail. Now we'll have to discuss about the short answers of 2 marks of question that has been possible for unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, unit 4 respectively. So first we'll discuss about unit 1, 2 marks possible question, which is the name of the unit is your introduction. So for the same we have to talk about it. In introduction, before starting with this, it's a huge request to all the viewers to please go through with the subscribe button and please like, share and subscribe our channel so that many maximum people can get the information at once, and even though you can also enjoy the video as well. In same case for the introduction, the question is being, what is the method to fulfill the basic aspiration of human being? Is it same for everyone? That is the question has been asked of 2 marks, and that's what we have to talk about it. And the question is being, the method to fulfill the basic aspiration of human being. So the basic requirements, we will go ahead with the question. That is the basic requirements for fulfillment of human aspiration. So that what we have to discuss here. So this, the first we have here, that has been the right understanding. In same case for right understanding. In right understanding, where the right understanding helps us to decide how we work for physical facilities and maintain feelings of different relationship with others. Second is your relationship. In same case for the relationship here, that in nature to create a harmony, there is a basic need for affectionate relations with other individuals. The third we have is your physical facilities. So in physical facilities here, that has been the physical facilities like food, clothes, shelters and protections are the basic need of all human being here. We'll discuss about another question that has been arised here. What are the 2 basic aspiration of any human being? So we'll talk about the basic aspiration here that we have as follows. Basic aspiration. In same case for the basic aspiration here, we are following are the basic aspirations of a human being. The first is that every human being aspires to be happy. On his efforts and towards this end, the outcome from the efforts depends on the focus of the effort, specifically on his notions about happiness here. Second is, when these notions are right, the outcome is mutual happiness, and when the notions are wrong, the outcome is unhappiness here. We'll discuss about another one, which has been briefly explain happiness. So what we have to explain is briefly explain happiness. In same case for the happiness here, that what we used to have to talk about it for the same, and that has been in terms of happiness here, which has been like your happiness results from a variety of feelings that are effortless and comes naturally to us. Trust, honesty, respect, confidence, etc. That are the feeling that we welcome with open arms or at all the times. They led us to a state of harmony within us and with other around us. We'll talk about another question. What is unhappiness here? In same case for the unhappiness, the unhappiness is the result of any kind of contradiction, struggle or conflict within us or with any other person. Mistrust, dishonesty, lack of respect and lack of confidence are some feelings that led to unhappiness here. Discuss about, explain the difference between animal consciousness and human consciousness. Difference between animal consciousness and human consciousness. In the same case, giving all priority to the physical facilities only, to live solely on the basis of the physical facility, that may be termed as animal consciousness. Living with all three, right understanding, relationship and physical facilities, called human consciousness. Another question we talk about it, that has been, what is the difference between prosperity and wealth? Difference between prosperity and wealth. In same case, and or they can ask to discuss prosperity or define wealth here. In some case, for the prosperity is the feeling of having or making available more than required physical facility. To ascertain prosperity, two things are essential. First is that the correct assessment of need for physical facilities. Second is that the competence of many available more than required physical facility. In terms of wealth here, wealth is a physical thing. It means having money or having a lot of physical facility, or both. Now we talk about what are the four levels of our living. Four levels of our living, that we have to talk about it. So what are the four levels of our living? The four levels of our living are: first is living in myself, living in family, living in society, and living in nature existence. So I will just tell you about that. Living in myself, living in family, third is living in society, and the fourth is living in nature or existence. Now we'll talk about another question here. We'll talk about what do you mean by a right understanding here. In right understanding, we talk about it. What do you mean by a right understanding here? In the same cases, that right understanding help us to decide how we work for physical facilities and maintain feelings of different relationship with others. It is one of the major tools for fulfillment of our aspiration, which basically needs a transformation from animal consciousness to the human consciousness. Other question is, how can you say living in society? Living in society, how can you say that? So in living in society is the level of our living. So yes, living as a society and is the level that is lined with living in family, since family is a subgroup of the larger group society, and society is composed of all the people that we come into contact directly or indirectly, and all people upon whom we depend directly or indirectly. Another question we talk about it, that is, what is the difference between belief and understanding? Difference between belief and understanding. Same case for difference between belief and understanding. We have to distinguish between the beliefs and understanding that can be underpinned by evaluating the following points. In terms of belief, that beliefs are the ad hoc values, and understanding, that correct understanding is the universal human values. Believe that they are usually not the same for everybody, they are same for everybody. Beliefs are assumed values, understanding is evaluated values. Belief usually change with time, understanding does not change with time. Now we'll talk about the another one, which is we have to discuss the mutual fulfillment and mental prosperity. So we'll discuss about it, and which has been the important here. So for the same, we'll go ahead. In the case of mutual understanding, mutual fulfillment, mutual fulfillment is equals to, or just I will go ahead for the same, mutual fulfillment and mental prosperity. So mutual fulfillment equals to right understanding plus relationship. Okay. Second is for mutual prosperity equals to right understanding plus physical facility that we have here. Now we'll go ahead for the another one that what we have to discuss here, which is being the next and the last question of unit 1, which we have to discuss here in a short two types of questions here. The question is being explain the difference between animal consciousness and human consciousness. Discuss about difference between animal consciousness and human consciousness. In terms of animal and human consciousness here, that giving all the priorities to a physical facility only, that to live solely on the basis of physical facility, they may be termed as animal consciousness. Living with all three right understanding, relationship and physical facility is called human consciousness. Now we'll end up with unit 1 here, as I told you. Now we'll discuss about unit 2 for the 2 marks possible question that has been asked here, and that is being as follows. For unit 2, we'll go ahead. Unit 2, that is being understanding human being and its expansion, which is of 2 marks questions that we have to discuss here. So in the same cases here, that the question is being arise, the first question of the session is, what are the components of human personality structure here? Let's go ahead for the same. So we'll discuss here, that has been components of human personality. So in that has been the components of human personality structures we have. So the first we have following are the components of human personality structure. The first we have is your experiencer, feeler or perceiver. Experiencer, feeler or perceiver. Second is doer or performer. Third is learner or knower that we have. Now we'll talk about another one, which has been another question here, and that has been asked is, you explain briefly seer. Same case for the seer, that the seer is the one who understands and is known or is also known as the draster, and that is being, and the seer sees when the individual is happy or sad, angry or upset. Sometimes the self sees and understand through the body, and sometimes without the help of the body as well. We'll talk about who is enjoyer. In same case for the enjoyer, that the enjoyer is one who enjoys and is also known as that is your bhokta. When an action is carried out, that the self is one who enjoys it. Another we talk about the doer. In same case for the doer, that the doer is one who does and is also known as the karta. The self is one of the that instructs the body to carry out the various tasks. The self tells the body to use it different parts to do different things. Discuss another one, that is to explain briefly how self is conscious entity here. So we'll discuss as well. So whereas that has been the another question is explain briefly how self is conscious entity. So self is how self is conscious entity, that what we have to talk about it. On the same cases here, for that the self or I has the ability to think, imagine, talk, walk, work, etc., and thus it is a jivan. It possesses the characteristics of being aware or conscious, thus it is called consciousness as well. On the same cases, we go ahead with our next one, which we'll discuss about explain how how the body is a material entity, that what we have to discuss here. So we'll go ahead for the same, how the body is the material entity. In the same cases, how the body is a material entity here, in that is way that what we have to talk about it, that an entity that does not have the activity of knowing, assuming, recognizing and fulfilling is a material entity, where since the body is only able to recognize and fulfill, we can conclude that the body is a material entity. I will discuss about the another one, which has been the important, and that has been to define the unit here. We'll discuss about the unit as well. So in define unit here, that the unit is something that is limited in size, like a small blade of human hair to the biggest planet. And we know of they are all limited in size, that is bounded on 6 sides as well. So all the things we have been studying so far, that the human beings, animal, lumps of matter, as well as the various atoms and molecules, that are all units here. We'll discuss about another one, which is to define space. In same cases for the spaces here, that spaces can be defined as an unlimited entity, unlike unit, that is it has no size, therefore it cannot be bounded. But space maintains a certain regularity and obeys a certain laws, where space is reflecting. This means that it can be explained in terms of relation with other object as well. Now we'll discuss about another one, which has been the can ask in your short 2 marks question, is to define existence. In term of existence here, define existence, where understanding the self is the knowledge of self or I. This is known as Jivan Gyan. Understanding the knowledge of existence is the knowledge of Astatva. The knowledge of human conduct is known as Man Vyata Apurna Acharna Gyan as well. That Acharan's Gyan, and that these three knowledge put together forms the right understanding of existence as well. We'll discuss about 4 orders of nature. Give the 4 orders of nature. In same cases for the 4 orders of nature that we have to discuss, yeah. So there are 4 orders, and that will be named as your material order. First is your material order. Second is your plant or bio order. Bio order. Third is your animal order. And the fourth is your human order. This is what we have. Now we'll discuss the material order here. In same case for the material order, they can ask you simply the 4 orders of nature and explain in brief, that they can ask you. Otherwise they can ask you discuss material order. And discuss material order here, that this order comprises of non-living things and also the various forms of energies like sound, light, heat, etc., that are also the part of the order. The fundamental characteristics of this order is a composition or decomposition as well. Or they can ask you in same case for the second, which is your plant and bio order. They can ask you explain briefly plant and bio order here. In the same cases, that they comprises from a single cell organism like fungi, algae, to what a plant of herbs, shrubs and trees. They can reproduce, accept nutrition from outside, digest, assimilate and grow. They also provide nutrition to the animal and to the human order as well. Other can they can ask you about animal order, that is to define animal order here. In terms of animal order, the members of these order are living things. They show many of the features of the plant order. They have greater degree of that is your locomotions than plant, and the natural characteristics of this order is that they realize or they are aware of the fact that there exists the quality of the self I. Therefore, they have an intellectual faculty as well. Now we'll discuss about we'll head end up with the unit 2 possible 2 marks question that they can ask you in a short questions here. Now we'll discuss about the unit 3 here, which is being the activities of the cells, and that what for the same that what we have to discuss about, which is the short question possible of 2 marks here. We'll go ahead for this unit third, which is your this is for activities of the cell. That has been the unit name that we have to ask for the 2 marks possible question here as well. And the same cases that the question that can be arise here is what were the activities of the self I. That has been of course the unit name as you can see here. So we'll get go ahead for the what are the activities of the self or I. Activities of the self or I. So in that, following are the activities of the self or I, which is the first we have is your analyzing. Second is your imagining. Third is your dreaming. Fourth is your desiring. Fifth is your understanding. Sixth is your feeling. Seventh is your speaking. And eighth is your believing. Ninth is your thinking. In the same cases here, that another question has been asked is what are the characteristics of I or self, that even though we have to talk about it, so we'll go ahead for the same. Characteristics of I or self. So characteristics of I and self, that what we have to discuss. They are the characteristics that self-actualized people embrace the unknown and that ambiguous as well. They accept themselves together with all their flaws. They do not seek to shock or disturb, and they are motivated by growth, not by the satisfactions of needs as well. We'll discuss about another question. Can sigma DTE activities of the self be definite? Give names of the both definite, indefinite, and state of activities as well. So for that, yes, sigma DTE that is being will be the activities of the self is definite, and definite state of activity is your swatantra, and indefinite state of activity is your partrantra. Next, we'll discuss about the differentiate between the activities of the self and the body, and on two grounds as well. So we'll discuss here difference between activities of the self and the body. So in the same cases here that activities are on the basis of I or self, that is that desire, thinking, etc., and body, that is breathing, heartbeat, etc., and knowing, assuming, recognizing, fulfilling in terms of I or self, body, that is recognizing and fulfilling. Now we'll discuss about another question that is being asked: what are the 5 values which help human being to live life in harmony? So we'll go ahead for the same. We'll discuss about another question that what we have to discuss here, and that is very important one here and on the same basis. The question is, what are the 5 values which help human being to live life in harmony? So we'll go ahead for the same. So that has been your 5 values which help human being to live life in harmony, that we have to talk about it, that what even though we have to answer it out as well. On the same cases that these are that what we have to talk about it. So these are the values that we have: your love, second is care, third is truth, fourth is responsibility, and the fifth is of course that is being justice. Now we'll discuss about the another question that is being the important here. We go ahead further, which we'll talk about it here in the detail about it. That has been the another question has been asked: what are the needs of the self or I? So we'll go ahead for the same. So needs of the self or I. In the same cases, that has been the question here. Following are the needs of I here. That is the first we have here. That has been the trust, which is your Vishwas. Second is respect, that has been the Samman. And the third is happiness. Of course, that has mean the Sukh here. Okay, now we'll go ahead with another one, which is to be defined sensation. So in terms of sensation, a sensation is a type of feeling picked up by one of the 5 senses. A sensation is something from your senses. If you that lose a sensation in your feet, they are numb, and it's the time for you to get up and move around to restore blood flow. You can call something a sensation if it is wonderful and astonishing. And the question is, what do you mean by imagination? In terms of imagination, that the activities of the desire, thoughts, and expectation at the level of the self are collectively called the imagination, where imagination is equals to like desire plus thoughts plus expectations, and all three comes under in it, then it is known as your imagination. The other question in terms of it, that what we even do have to talk about it, which is what are the main constituents when physical facilities are ensured, and that is being the important one here. So we'll go ahead for this, and that has been the main constituent when physical facilities are ensured. That we have. In the same cases, for the main constituents, that what we have to talk about it, and that main constituents when place of facilities that are ensured, and for the same we have 3 main facilities, and they are here as been. First we have as your right utilization, second is your protection, third is your production. Now we'll talk about the another one, which is what is which is your with lesana, and that has been asked here. that can be asked of 2 marks here. Possible question. So what is Vislisana? And what is Vislisana here? That the activity of analysis wherein we plan, a schedule and manage things is known as Vislisana. We'll discuss about another one which has been defined, sentient activities. In sentient activities, the activities involving only the self that are called sentient activities. I will go ahead with in a detail how can self and control ensures healthy life. So self control ensures self control ensure healthy life. So how can self-control ensures healthy life here? That is your sanyama, or the self-control or the self-regulation, that refers to the feeling of responsibility for nurturing, the protecting and rightly utilizing the body, and when the body is fit to act according to the needs of the self-T, and there is a harmony among the parts of the body, it is referred to as in health, and that is swasth. And sanyama or the self-regulation is the basic of the swasthaya as well. Now we'll go ahead with another and the last question of the unit third, which is what is sanyama. What is sanyama? States that in sanyama, that sanyama or the self-regulation is basically of the feeling that response in the self to the nurture, protect and rightly utilize that what we have, and that is being the rightly utilizes the body. And since the body is an instrument of the self, there is need to take care of the body as that it is capable of carrying out the instructions of the self as well. That comes under unit. That has been the all the possible questions of from unit 1, from unit 1, unit 2 and unit 3 we had done of 2 marks questions. And now we'll discuss about the 4th and 5th in the next coming class as well. That has been the important one here. So here we're going to end up with, and it's a huge request to all the viewers to please go through the subscribe button and please like, share and subscribe our channel so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even you can also enjoy the video as well. Other than this of understanding the human that is the human understanding the human being comprehensively, the human aspiration and its fulfillment. Other than that, we had completed your sociology and software engineering, and we had done your chemistry where we had completed your unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, unit 4, unit 5, unit 6, unit 7, unit 8 and unit 9. After that, we had done your conversions, anti-log, logarithms, and we had done your element symbols, atomic mass and molar masses with the symbols as well, and with the atomic number as well. Talking about that, we are dealing with the quantitative aptitude where we had started with arithmetical ability where we had done operations on numbers, LCM and SCF of numbers, decimal fractions, simplifications, square roots and cube roots. Then we had done problems on numbers, problems on ages, sorts and indices, percentage we had even just started with. After talking about that, so with the same cases we had done yeah, we are dealing with the reasoning as well. In reasoning we had done your verbal reasoning where we had done operations on numbers, LCM and SCF of numbers. In reasoning we had done your general mental ability and the logic reasoning, and in non-verbal reasoning we had done your series and logic classification, analytical reasoning, mirror image, water image, embedded figure, completions of incomplete pattern, figure matrix, paper folding, paper cutting, rule detection, grouping of identical figures, cubes and dies as well, and that dot situation that we had down here. And I will continue with the dot situation in the classes that will surely be completed that in the next coming classes. After talking about that, yes, we are dealing with understanding the human being comprehensively, the human aspiration and its fulfillment, where we had completed unit 1, which has been the introduction here, where we had completed the basic human aspirations and their fulfillment through the right understanding and the resolution, or encompassing the resolution for the human being, it a detail and solutions of the problems in the light of the resonance. In unit 2 we had done your, that is being the understanding the human being and its expansion, where we had done the domain of the right understanding starts from the experiences and the doer, that extends up to the understanding the nature, existence and interconnectedness and coexistence, and finally understanding the role of the human being in existence, human conduct. Unit 3 we had done VHS activities of the self, where we had done understanding of the human being comprehensively is the first step of that the core theme of this courses, and human being potentialities of the self, reasons for harmony, contradiction in the self as well. In unit 4, understanding the coexistence with the orders which we had completed here, the need and the process of the inner evolution through self-exploration, self-awareness, and self-evaluation, particularly opening to the activities to the self-realization, understanding to the contemplation and the self-realization and coexistence, understanding of the that is your harmony in nature, and contemplations of participation of human being in the harmony order, leading to the comprehensive knowledge about the extension as well, existence as well. After talking about that, unit 5, we have to done with the expansions of harmony from the cells to entire existence, which is they have to cover up the understanding the different aspects of all, encompassing the resolution, understanding the wisdom, science, etc., holistic way of the living for human being with all encompassing resolution that is covering for all the 4 dimensions of human interview, that is your realization through thoughts, behavior, and work, participation in the larger order, leading to the harmony to all the levels and from self to nature and entire existence as well. Where we had completed, and that has been it's a huge request to all the viewers to please go through the subscribe button, and please like, share, and subscribe to our channel so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and you can also enjoy the video as well. Thank you. Hope you enjoy this video. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and give a suggestion on a comment box. Thank you.